I make a consistent $40,000 plus per month with my remote cleaning business because I figured out how to retain high-paying clients. However, most cleaning companies are still stuck in the cycle of trying to replace their clientele each and every single month. But I built my company based on clients who are going to stay with me for many months, even years sometimes, and some of my first clients are still with me even today. So in this video, I'm going to show you the exact process that I use to create sticky client relationships that keep paying month after month, so you can build a predictable recurring client base instead of chasing new leads every single month. But before we talk about how you actually get clients, how do you actually keep clients, we need to understand why clients actually leave in the first place. After analyzing hundreds of client relationships that we've worked with in the past, I've identified some specific patterns that typically lead to cancellations. The number one reason why clients cancel is always going to come down to inconsistency. They'll get a great cleaning one week, they'll get a mediocre cleaning the next week. Different cleaners are showing up each time, they're using different methods, paying attention to different things, and in short, the client basically never knows what to expect. The second biggest reason is poor communication. Something goes wrong, whether a cleaner's running late, or they can't access a certain part of the house, or they break something small. Instead of communicating proactively about whatever issue's actually occurring in real time, most people will either wait until hours have passed after the clean, or they might not even respond at all to anything that just occurred. Or worse, they just make excuses after the fact. And the third reason is misaligned expectations. The client is usually expecting a certain level of service and the company is delivering something completely different. Maybe they thought they were going to get a deep cleaning, but they actually got more of a maintenance cleaning. They thought certain things were going to be included in the cleaning and they actually weren't included at all in the checklist. And that mismanagement obviously creates dissatisfaction across your clients. But here's what I learned that really changed my viewpoint. And that was that most clients who leave quickly are usually not even the right clients to begin with. They're either price shoppers, had unrealistic expectations, or were looking for something that we simply just couldn't even provide. So I completely changed my approach to attracting clients. Instead of trying to win everybody over, I started to position myself and my company to specifically target clients that valued relationships over price. So with that being said, here's how I would identify these types of clients and the interactions that I would have with them. First, I would listen. So that's probably the most important part whenever you're on any of these sales calls. You got to listen to the clients and what they're saying. If they're saying things like, I just want someone reliable, I'm tired of people not showing up, those people are usually great clients because they've been burned before and they value consistency and they understand how valuable that is. Clients who are immediately asking for price or want to negotiate before you've even gone through all your service details, those are usually not going to be a good fit. They're shopping on price, which means they're probably just going to be looking for the next person until they get the cheapest possible option. Second, I'm paying attention to any kind of lifestyle indicators that they're talking about. If they're busy professionals with demanding careers, if they've got families with young children, or people who travel frequently for work, these are clients who really value the time savings and convenience that we can provide. And third, I'm really looking for clients that ask great questions. So if they're asking about our process, our insurance, our background checks, our quality control, anything that would indicate they really care about the details, these are the clients that actually value professional service and are willing to pay for it. But here's the key, I actually set expectations up front that would prevent future disappointments. During the initial quote consultation, I'm very clear about what we do, what we don't do, how we handle situations, and what they can expect from the service. I tell them exactly how we'll communicate, when they'll hear from us, how we might handle any issue that might arise. Because for us, we'd rather deal with misaligned expectations up front as opposed to have a back-end issue where a client gets upset. I also explain our approach to building long-term relationships. I tell them that we're not just looking for one-time customers, we're looking to become their trusted cleaning partner for years to come. This frames the entire relationship differently right from the start. Now, once you have the right clients, keeping them happy comes down to two things: communication and consistency. Let me break down my specific systems for both. For consistency, I built my own growth cleaning protocol system for each and every single clean. Every cleaner is following the exact same process. They have detailed notes about each and every single clean individually and specific items that need to get done in specific orders to deliver the same quality service each and every single time. To ensure that, we do the following things. So first, we will get a detailed custom quote for each client. That means during the sales process, we're asking for specifics where they want to focus on, all the areas of emphasis, having that all documented so when the cleaner shows up at the house, not only do we have photos of those areas that we will request prior to arrival, but they also have all of that documented in one place under the booking details. Second, we'll have our cleaners check into our mobile app. That shows us that they're at the location at the right time, so they're able to start the cleaning in a timely fashion. And from there, they'll be able to view all the notes, like we talked about before, and communicate any issues that might arise that don't align with the notes that have been provided, right? So we're front-ending any issues that might come up the very, very beginning of the clean. And lastly, we will have photos after the service has been done. This serves two purposes. One, it will show verification that we actually cleaned the places that we said we were going to do. And two, it gives us documentation if a client ever asks what happened about XYZ spot. But here's where most cleaning companies fail. They don't have a system for after the cleaning is done to actually quality control everything remotely. On our side, we follow a rigid system so we can ensure the best and highest satisfaction for all of our clients. So every single cleaning we ever do gets reviewed. Not 2 days later, not 3 days later, within 12 hours. So we're checking for photos, we're looking at that, we're looking at the notes. If anything comes up as a red flag, we're proactively reaching out to the client to address anything in advance. We have an internal rating system for each client, so every single cleaning, we're asking the client how the cleaning went, what was their rating. If it starts to go down, we're having a specific protocol in place to get that higher and address all the issues that might arise throughout the course of a long-term engagement with the client, because obviously there's going to be different things that pop up from time to time. But the real secret to retention really happens in that first 90 days, because that's the chance where you can prove that you're a great partner for them, and that's oftentimes when the highest churn is going to occur from the clients in your company. So during the first 3 months, we make sure we do these specific things each and every single time. First, we check in after every single cleaning, no matter what. We call them multiple times if it has to over the course of the first 24 to 48 hours to make sure we get a full feedback and satisfaction score from the client. Anything that pops up that wasn't done to their satisfaction is documented, revised, and action is taken place after we get any type of feedback to ensure that their satisfaction is going to be higher than before the cleaning started. Second, our responsiveness is extremely high. Anytime they have a question, anytime that they have any feedback, we are going to be as fast as possible to respond to them. We want to make sure they know that we are like first responders. If anything pops up, we're always going to be in their corner. There's never going to be a 24, 48-hour delay in terms of getting one of their problems fixed. And third, we're looking for opportunities to exceed expectations. So if there's an opportunity at the end of 3 months to throw in a complimentary oven clean, if there's an opportunity to go in and fix one of the mistakes from a previous cleaning and we send them the next day, we're going to do whatever it takes during that first 90 days to exceed their expectations. The goal is to provide enough trust and value during that first 90 days that after that period of time, they're thinking in their head this is an essential part of their household routine. So this approach really turns cancellations into opportunities to prove our commitment towards their satisfaction. And ultimately, if you do that, people will want to stay with you long term. By the way, if you want to work with me and my team on how to build these exact client retention systems, click the link in the description below. So once you get past that critical 90-day period, long-term retention becomes more about maintaining the relationship and continuing to provide value that exceeds their expectations. So here's my approach to staying connected outside of that 90-day period. I use a combination of AI-powered systems and personal touches to maintain relationships at scale. Every client gets a personalized message every single quarter, not about problems or issues, but is there anything we could possibly be doing to improve their experience with us? In addition to that, we'll send seasonal communications as well. Tips for maintaining their homes during different times of seasons, Christmas, spring, those kinds of things. Reminders about any kind of services for upcoming holidays, and any updates to any services that we may have improved or changed within the company. But here's what really builds loyalty. We like to document any personal details for each of these clients as it pertains to their life. And if we're able to reference them in our communications, that just takes us another step further in terms of strengthening our relationships with them and a company that exceeds value. A very easy way to do this is just understanding when their birthday is and wishing them a birthday, giving them a discount on their next clean, things like that. Show them that we are not a normal company and we're willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that their experience with us is a 10 out of 10. And by the way, that might sound time consuming, but I've systematized all that into a CRM that organizes everything, reminds you, and tells you exactly what to say and when to say it for all of these clients. Now, obviously the personalization part is great, but I still think the number one thing that separates you is when you're able to handle problems efficiently. And really quickly, the things that are going to matter in that situation is being very quick to respond. So speed to lead, just like I've referenced in sales, it's the same thing with the customer support aspect of this. Number two is having a high sense of accountability. So it's really easy to blame other people, blame situations, blame things that are out of your control. That is not our mentality, and that is not a mentality that your customers are really going to value. They want people who take accountability, even when it might not be 100% their fault. We take on their problems and their satisfaction and assume responsibility. And third, we typically want to provide multiple solutions to any problem that might arise. It's not, hey, if we don't get this done, then sorry, we can't help you. No, there's options A, B, and C for any given scenario that might arise at their cleanings. An example of this would be a cleaner broke a decorative bowl at a client's house. So the things that would occur are as follows. We called the client within an hour of finding out. We took full responsibility and sincerely apologized. Even though you didn't personally do it, the cleaner did it, the cleaner's on your team, you take full responsibility. We offer to replace the bowl entirely, offer cash compensation, or offer some sort of future discount in the equivalent amount for any future cleanings that they want to have with us. In the event of replacing the bowl, we're doing all the homework of finding the actual bowl and then having that delivered to their door. And then once we got that notification of the delivery, we followed up on that day to make sure they got it, they're happy, and they're satisfied. And that is an example of a client who's still with us over a year from the day they signed up with us, even though they had an incident that occurred 5-6 months into their services with us. So while that is a problem that occurs, I see that as an opportunity to prove commitment and value to your clients and their satisfaction. Now, those are the tactics, but I'm going to explain to you why is it so important to be doing this and doing the extra mile and going through all these steps to make sure you keep clients. So an average client of ours will stay for over 8 cleanings with us. At an average ticket price of $200, to use a round example, it's a little more than that, but $200, that would mean that the average case someone is going to spend $1,600 with us. Compare that to chasing for new clients every single month. You've got client acquisition costs. That whole process of client acquisition costs money. But if you're keeping your existing clients, that's just pure profit month over month. This is why I tell my team we need to spend more time on retaining the clients that we do have, because over a long enough time horizon, it's simply much more profitable than finding the new deal for the month. But beyond the financial aspect of it, if you have a good recurring base of clients that love your service and love everything that you do, you have predictability in your business. When you know that 90% of your clients are going to stay with you into the following month, you know exactly what you're walking into in terms of revenue, profit, take home, which is how you can invest and build confidence in your business. You're not going to be in a constant state of stress, wondering, okay, I'm going to lose all these clients, I have to replace all these clients. And as a result, you can focus on improving the client experience, expanding offerings, doing little details like the birthday stuff we talked about, and building a better business. In addition to that, I think the other thing that people don't realize is every homeowner has friends and they have neighbors. And long-term clients oftentimes become your best marketing channel. They leave great reviews, they refer friends, families, and neighbors to your business. You can create special offers just for them so they can be their own advocates and marketers for your company within the local area. In addition to that, the long-term clients are actually easier to manage because they know your process, they know your communication style, they know your systems. They don't need to be micromanaged like some of the newer clients that you'll deal with in that first 90 days that we talked about. The established clients will just let you do your job. And this to me creates a virtuous cycle. They become happy, they stay longer, they become more profitable, and they actually expand your business. And one of the big key things in terms of how I think about the framework and mindset of these businesses is we are a subscription style business, not a transactional business. If you think about Netflix, they don't just deliver content, they create an experience where they make you feel like canceling feels like a loss. If you think about Amazon Prime, they don't just deliver packages, they create an ecosystem of benefits that are integral to your life. So I'm applying the same logic framework to my cleaning business. We don't just clean houses. We are providing peace of mind, time freedom, and a consistently maintained living environment for our clients that are integral to their lives. When you frame your service this way, client retention becomes much easier. You're willing to go the extra mile. You understand what good service looks like and feels like from both sides. And as a result, the clients will not want to give up the benefits that you provide to them. Building a business around long-term clients comes down to creating relationships where people don't want to go through the hassle of finding someone new. When you get it right, your business becomes predictable, more profitable, and much easier to manage because you're not constantly replacing revenue. If you want to work with me and my team on how to implement these exact same retention systems into your business that generates long-term recurring revenue, click the first link in the description below.